we say about gateways in the era of COVID? First of all, of course, on a personal level, was a great lack and deficiency in our Pesach, not to be able to spend Pesach together. Just being together this year made me appreciate how special it is when we all get together. People say, it's better to do Pesach in your home with your family. There's something very special about all being together, especially with the Gateways atmosphere. Shavuot, we'll miss it. I'll miss it. I'll have to say a few lectures to my family, a few shirim to my family. Long suffering. But let's at least share together an idea that I hope you'll find relevant and enhance your perhaps more lonely Shavuos than usual. The thoughts that I've been having in terms of COVID, lockdown, isolation. What should that make us think about? Here's a remarkable theme that is at the heart of what Shavuot is. And that is togetherness. Togetherness. The narrow form of this we call Avas Yisrael, love of Jews. The broader form is the united front of the Jewish people together, which makes Torah possible. First of all, on the group level, the Torah was given to a group, not to an individual. In fact, the basic reason that the Torah was not given to the Avos, to the forefathers, they were individuals. The Torah waited for a nation. It's togetherness of a nation that makes Torah possible. It's the unity of parts that makes Torah possible. The Gemara puts it like this. The Gemara says, how many Jews do you need together for the Shekhinah to be manifest, for the divine presence to descend? 22,000. Debate about the numbers. Why 22,000, by the way? Because 22 is the number of elements that make up a unity. 22 letters in the alphabet. The Hebrew aleph base, 22 letters, which are the interconnections between all the 10 basic points of reality, as I'm sure you know. 22 letters. Why that particular number is a discussion that the Maharal teaches us about and other sources as well. But the point is 22, and on a national level, we raise that to the value of 1,000. 1,000 being the highest number in the Torah system. Revava 10,000 is not really a number, it's really just Revava means a lot, many. So 22 times 1,000, that's the highest power, if you like, of the number of unity. When 22,000 Jews get together, you not only have a unity between people, Hashem joins. That's a basic theme in our system. 3 people together, you can bench differently. 10 people together, you have Kedusha. 22,000 is a level that's required for the Shekhinah to come down. But the point I'm trying to make here is that it's a unity of parts. It's a national entity that makes Torah possible. Not individuals, no matter how brilliant those individuals are. Moshe Rabbeinu on his own does not merit Torah. It's being the head of a nation that is unified that makes Torah possible. What is the byword or catchword, if you like, of Shavuos itself? Ke'ish echad belev echad, like one person with one heart. One person, one heart, total unity of function, total unity of intention. When the Jewish people get together with that unity, the Torah manifests. The Torah switches into the singular, amazingly. Leaves off talking about the plural, about our multiplicity, and talks about our unity. You get together, Torah manifests. Torah was given twice. Given once at Sinai, but in one way, more deeply, more meaningfully given at Purim. Torah was given at Sinai, we had no choice in that. Purim, we chose it ourselves. In the darkness, when it wasn't obvious, no divine revelation, no open miracles, we chose Torah then. What was the prelude to accepting Torah at Purim? Esther said to Mordechai, Lech kneis alai es kol haYudim. Go and gather together for me, all the Jews. That was the preamble. What will the Jews do when they get together? They'll do tshuva, they'll fast. But she said, Lech kneis alai es kol haYudim. Go and gather together for me, all the Jewish people. Around me, the queen, the Midas HaMalchus, around her, she requested that the Jews assemble. You want a new format of Torah, a new form of Torah in the world that'll be called Purim, the real acceptance. Kimu mashe kiblu kfar, this will be the real binding acceptance of Torah. You have to get together. Let me give you another example of this. And this you'll find for those of you who have a deeper interest. A classic work called Derech Mitzvah. Derech Mitzvah, a classic work by the Tzemach Tzedek, the third in the line of the Chabad dynasty. A classic work. Rav Moshe Shapiro thought very highly of this work. Probably the only work of its kind in all of Jewish history. analyzes the mitzvahs, the spiritual depth behind the mitzvahs, the Kabbalistic depth behind the mitzvahs. In Derech Mitzvah Secha, he talks about the mitzvah of Avas Yisrael, loving Jews, and the converse, of course, the prohibition of hating another Jew in your heart. And he explains very clearly that loving another Jew, the correct relationship with another Jew, is what elevates those two people to a unity in their spiritual source. You know that the source of the soul is called Yechidah. Yechidah, where we are one with Hashem, and of course one with each other. And therefore the depth of loving another Jew is not just that it's a good thing to do and socially preferable, it's a manifestation of a divine reality. And of course the exact opposite. When you hate another Jew, it isn't only a bad quality of character, a small-mindedness, it's a breakdown of a divine unity in the world. And therefore loving other Jews. It is true that some Jews are harder to love than others. Yes, that's true. You probably have more of a mitzvah to love those. You can hate their behavior. Indeed, you ought to when the behavior is negative, but not the Jew. You may be very distressed by the behavior of your child. You may even hate the behavior. Certainly don't hate the child. The Arizal says something quite amazing. The Arizal says, what's the last thought that you should have before you daven Shemona Esrei? You're about to take 3 steps forward and address Hashem. Focus intensely on your love of Hashem and your relationship with Him. What's the last thought you should have, the last intention before you approach Hashem and start speaking to Him? Says the Arizal, Avas Yisrael, love of Jews. Isn't that interesting? I would have thought, love of Hashem, I'm about to speak to Him. No, when you approach Hashem, the last thought in your mind that introduces your love of Hashem is love of Jews. The simple understanding is, if brothers and sisters don't love each other, they don't respect the parent. If you want a deep relationship with the parent and you're not caring about your brothers and sisters who are just as meaningful to the parent as you are, there's something wrong with your observance of your parental relationship. That's what that result says. I'll leave you with this thought. We can have a togetherness. We may not be sharing the luxury and the spiritual luxury of gateways. Unfortunately, I'm personally feeling the lack very much. Hoping we'll soon be able to get together to do another one of Gateway's unique events, prioritizing the spiritual, but giving it the background and the vessel of tremendously beautiful and dignified material. But even in isolation, we can remember love for another Jews, which builds the unity of the Jewish people. Have a wonderful Shavuos in physical isolation, but spiritual togetherness.